A very warm welcome to you. It's always my pleasure to have you for company each week on this program. My name is Margaret Mary Osiobor. You're welcome. On this edition of the program, the annual African Insurance Organization Conference and General Assembly is a flagship event of the AIO. The 45th edition with the theme Innovation, Risk and the Future of Insurance in Emerging Markets held recently at the Labadi Beach Hotel in Accra, Ghana. The three-day conference had over 800 delegates from across the continent and beyond in attendance. Declaring the conference open, the representative of the President, Honorable Senior Minister Yao Safo-Mafo, said that the use of technological innovations to solve problems is the key to the growth of the insurance industry on the continent. Do take a listen.
The development of science and technology should make risk sharing easier than yesterday. Because now we are able to do analysis more accurately.
Among the speakers this year was Inga Bill, the Chief Executive Officer of Lloyd's. So what more can I say? Sit back, relax, and enjoy the package. Once again, Akwaba.
The theme of the African Insurance Organization Conference and General Assembly AIO is carefully chosen each year to reflect the focus of insurance practitioners on the continent. The 45th edition with the theme Innovation, Risk and Future of Insurance in Emerging Markets was recently held in Accra, Ghana, provided yet another platform for insurers on the continent and beyond to brainstorm on how to use innovation to mitigate risk to benefit the lives of Africans. The 3 days event, which was held at the Labadi Beach Hotel, had over 800 delegates in attendance from more than 60 countries. Welcoming delegates to the conference, the immediate past president of the AIO, Alhaji Kanadubi Ibrahim Lubenga, said that the theme is a call to insurance operators on the continent to re-engineer their processes to mitigate risk.
Ladies and gentlemen, this year, as you have already been informed, our theme is Innovation, Risk and Future of Insurance in the Emerging Markets. You might all be aware that emerging markets face peculiar yet very common challenges. The theme, therefore, is a call upon all of us and to unite and reflect on innovation in risk management if we are to see the future we deserve. It is a call for action. It is a call for us to re-engineer our strategies and the processes to protect the companies that are strong and are able to be available for a long haul. And also a call for the players to embark on actions that shall give the shareholders, clients, and regulators the desired level of comfort. To create and sustain this, a critical minimum effort is required to assemble a force of credible firepower with competitive professional competencies. This is therefore an opportune time for us to renew our contacts, discuss the problems of mutual interest, and indeed gratify that the conference has pulled expertise from across Africa and beyond. Additionally, the outlook of two of the Africa's largest economies is mixed. Nigeria may recover faster than previously expected, but the prospects for South Africa may be subdued because of some anticipated uncertainties. Ladies and gentlemen, according to Accenture Outlook, innovation can be a company's most powerful tool and a driver of value. However, many executives prefer to innovate.
Declaring the conference open, the representative of the President, Ya Safo Mafo, Honorable Senior Minister, implored insurance practitioners on the continent to cooperate more so that fewer businesses would leave the shores of Africa to the developed markets.
Let us therefore find more innovative ways of increasing the pool of specialist talents we need to explore opportunities in our market. Last but not the least is underwriting. Before any business will leave the shores of Africa, we must exhaust Africa's capacity. And I tell you, if we collaborate, we have some level of capacity. But if we are cocooned in our respective countries, we have no capacity. There are many insurance businesses that would not have left Africa if there were greater inter-African cooperation. It is estimated that between $5.5 billion to $8.4 billion of insurance premium is transferred offshore yearly from us. I don't think we should continue. We should find a way of bringing this business. So, Mr. Chairman, on this occasion, we shall run and not crawl. I am convinced that the future of the insurance is here. It is in Africa and other emerging markets. But without adopting best practices, these opportunities will pass us by. Adopt best practices in customer service, technology, and corporate governance. The future of the insurance industry belongs to companies that are customer-centric. They understand there is a shift of power to the consumer. Customer-centric insurance companies know who their customers are, and they work to satisfy their customers. I welcome feedback from this conference on what governments can do to help build a healthy and vibrant insurance industry in Ghana and Africa, as we join forces to move towards Ghana and a continent beyond aid. Ghana, for that matter, all countries, the government should get involved in supporting the insurance companies to succeed. This is important. I wish you a successful conference. I now declare the 45th AIO conference and annual general meeting officially open.
With the opening formalities over, delegates settled down for serious deliberations on the theme and sub-theme papers of the conference. The first session of the conference focused on embracing modern technology to increase access to insurance. Speaker was Inga Bailey, Chief Executive Officer, Lloyds. According to her, digitalization is going to transform Africa's economy to achieve financial inclusion, but other sectors are beating the insurance industry to it.
Digitalization is going to be transforming African economies, and it's going to be supporting true financial inclusion. Insurance is going to be, or should be, part of that financial inclusion. But are we doing enough? The International Telecoms Union, the ITU, the United Nations Agency for Information and Communication Technologies, report that over 80% of Africans now own a mobile phone. And Africa remains the fastest growing mobile phone market in the world. It's on track to have 725 million smartphone users by 2020. So it should be a great opportunity for us to get out there and use that technology to sell insurance more broadly. But when we look at other sectors, it looks as though they're beating us to this race. Just look at farming and what's happening in innovation there. Farmers are now using their mobiles to check market prices before selling on to middlemen. Market traders can accept payments, as we know, in mobile money. But what are we doing as the insurance sector? Are we doing enough? Are we tapping in from an insurance perspective? And I know there are some great examples. I know there's been insurance being sold in South Africa over a mobile phone where the policy language is so short it can fit in a text message. When I look at some of the policies that we've traditionally built up over at Lloyd's hundreds of years, they're not going to fit on a text message. Some of them are pages and pages long. So if we want to think about how we're going to harness and use mobile technology, we've got to make sure our products are simple enough to sell using mobile technology. We've got to think differently about how we can introduce really pioneering insurance products. So this is going to be important. But what I would say is let's look across the world and see what's happening.
The second session of the conference focused on future of African insurance industry amidst technological threats. Speakers were Mr. John Murphy, Business Development Manager, Claim Advantage; Mr. Doug Lasse, Special Advisor to Leapfrog Strategic African Investments; and Mr. Pierre-Edouard Franet, Commercial Insurance Director, Sanham Finances. Moderator was Loretta Mbele of the African Business Report, BBC. With the threat of robots, drones taking over human functions in this digital era, the African Insurance Organization is increasing efforts at building and developing its human capital. To this end, the AIO, through its education forum, is collaborating with the IISA on insurance education in Africa. The second day of the conference started with Ms. Tokozeli Malangu shedding light on the collaboration with the AIO on the projects.
What are we doing to take our people with us as we grow and build the industry? We keep talking about microinsurance. Are we training our people to be relevant in selling those products or in developing products that are talking to that target audience? Are we perhaps not leaving our people behind as leaders? It's a question I ask. If you can go to the next slide, please. So what we need as insurance educators, higher learning institutions that are focused on insurance training, or whether any other training provider that is focused on insurance training, we need to go beyond the technical skills of insurance. We also need to go beyond training people to do the admin work, as I highlighted. That will become irrelevant in the near future. So we need people that can think innovatively. We need people that can grow our businesses. We need people that can engage with all different types of customers. So those are the skills that we as insurance training providers or professional bodies need to start growing. We also need to get our people at very early stages to start thinking strategically. We need to get our people to think beyond just doing the mundane data capturing of the system. That is something that can be automated. We need to get our people to think, what is it that I am doing to add value to my organization? What am I doing to grow the business? So in the engagement with a new client or a client at a claim stage, what am I doing to retain the client? That's what we need to do as training institutions in the insurance profession. We also need to get to a point where our people, our employees, our staff, or our potential staff that are not even in the industry yet, are able to start thinking broadly, need to research on the type of products that the clients need. We need to get to a point where we give our clients beyond what we are currently giving. So our people need to be able to engage with the customers in a manner that as they converse, they're able to pick up what could be a product that comes back home and that will grow your bottom line.
The third session of the conference focused on perhaps the most interesting topic of the conference this year: pay-as-you-go insurance. Are you ready for it? Speaker was Mr. Nico Korande, Chief Executive Officer, Munich Reinsurance Company of Africa Limited. Chairman of session was Mr. Ray Ankara of Ray Ankara and Associates. In his brief remarks, Mr. Ankra said that while a recent survey showed that 63% of insurance businesses reported readiness to transition into more digital practice, only 20% are really ready to go the whole hog by way of investment in technology.
The Deloitte study on tech trends for insurance revealed that insurance businesses realize the need to be more efficient and accessible in order to serve today's policyholder. However, and this is the interesting bit, while 63% of insurance businesses report their readiness to move towards more digital practices, only 23% of these businesses are actually ready. So we have a deficit there, don't we? We have a shortfall of 40%. And I'm sure after today, we will do whatever we need to do, roll up our sleeves and help our clients by coming up with these ideas, these innovative ideas, so that we can reach out to people who, up until now, we have not been able to serve. The use of tech innovations to enhance delivery of insurance services, maximize efficiency, and solve problems is key to the growth of the insurance industry in Africa.
The last session of the conference focused on relevance of risk management in insurance. Speakers were Mr. Sere Madi Kaba, Director Risk Management and Compliance Africa RE, and Mr. Georges Kavaji of Afrique Assurances. Chairman of session was Theorem Mado Delphine of Alliance Global Corporate and Specialty Africa. With the paper presentations over, day 3 of the conference started with the General Assembly. The General Assembly of the AIO provides members of the organization the opportunity to ask questions or make contributions on how to move the organization forward. Some of the AIO standing committees that briefed the General Assembly about the activities within the last 1 year were the Aviation Pool, the Life Offices Committee, AIBA, the Book Awards Committee, and a host of others.
We invited books or entries from specific classes of insurance on a yearly basis. But since last year, following limited number of entries, we stopped the rotational approach and instead invited entries from any subject of insurance. Unfortunately, just like last year, just one entry was received for the year 2018. And that came from Mr. Webster Tuambo Jr. of Zambia. His entry is Basics of Insurance, the Zambian Experience. The judges, the panel of judges, made up of Mr. Peter King of CKW, Sanjeev of JB Border, Mrs. Delphine Maidu of Alliance Global South Africa, and Eddie Fekuha of Consolidated Hallmark Nigeria, reviewed this book and resolved to recommend to the General Assembly as follows. 1. That the 2018 Book Award be given to Mr. Webster Tuambo Jr. of Zambia Market. 2. That just like last year and this current year, 2017-2018, entries for 2019 should also be from any subject of insurance. 3. That insurance professionals in Africa should take advantage of this encouragement coming from the AIO to see the need to document our practices for the growth of our market.
The Consultative Forum on Microinsurance Regulation also briefed the General Assembly on the progress they've made so far. The final curtain call at the 45th Aio Conference and General Assembly was a superlative closing dinner and the investiture of Arita Duku as the president of the AIO for the next 1 year.
Do solemnly declare and swear that Almighty God, that I shall carry out my duties and functions as president of the African Insurance Organization without fear or favor, in accordance with the Constitution of the African Insurance Organization. I also swear that I shall relentlessly work for the advancement of the African Insurance Organization and the African insurance industry, employing all legitimate means and facilities at my disposal. In making this solemn declaration, I do so with great sense of responsibility, so help me God.
Madam Arita Duku, Chief Executive Officer, Ghana Union Assurance Company Limited, Accra, Ghana, you are hereby installed as the President of the African Insurance Organization and invested with all the powers, duties, and responsibilities of that office. I wish you the most successful tenure.
Delegates were treated to a wide range of cuisines and entertainments. There is no doubt that the 45th Aio Conference and General Assembly in Accra, Ghana was a huge success. The stage is now set for the 46th edition, which will be hosted in Johannesburg, South Africa in 2019.
And that is it on this edition of Almond Finance and Wealth Report. I do hope you enjoyed every bit of it. We are live and we are social, so connect with us on all our social media platforms. And yes, you can still view this episode on our YouTube channel. All you need to do is subscribe and watch. Now don't forget to join us live every Wednesday by 9:45 a.m. on Niger FM 102.7 for our Pidgin English program, Waiting Insurance They Do Sir. And don't forget also that the free Pidgin English newspaper for the month of May is still out, so go get your copy. Once again, my name is Margaret Mary Usiobo. Thank you so much for watching. We'll come your way again next week, but until then, bye-bye.